Good morning. My name is Shoshanna Gross. I am the manager of major events at the Ohio Restaurant Association. And today on our Daily Dose, we're talking with John Barker, the ORA CEO and president. Hi, John.
Hey, Shoshanna.
So thanks so much for joining us today on Veterans Day. You know, the restaurant industry, of course, like every industry, has a lot of veterans, and we're really happy today to be seeing that so many of our restaurants, even during the pandemic, are acknowledging and celebrating the service of our veterans and giving back. So we just wanted to take a minute to acknowledge that.
Yeah, we certainly want to thank all of our veterans, those that are serving today, and those of you who have family members who have served. In fact, it looks like there's over 20 million veterans in the United States. And you think about where we are today and the fact that we have democracy and freedom, and we still have open elections and all those things that they fought for. We're very, very thankful. And I know restaurateurs have been so gracious over the years. And even this year, with all the pressure and stress that we've been under, many restaurants will offer some sort of a special or a discount for veterans today. And it's very inspirational. It's not surprising that our industry would do that.
Absolutely. So just, from the ORA, thanks to everyone who has served and to families as well. Fantastic. So we have a big event coming up next week, Dine Safe Across Ohio. Of course, this is not your typical everyone gathering in one place kind of event, but we are really excited to be supporting restaurants through a whole week of dine out and carry out. We have over 200 restaurants signed up, right?
Yeah, and it's been growing every day, which is great as we get a little bit closer to it, starting just next week. And it's exciting. I mean, the idea here is to try to bring more attention to restaurants at a period of time that typically is a little slower in sales before Thanksgiving. Some restaurants will benefit from Thanksgiving because it's the type of restaurant they are. Many restaurants, however, are closed on Thanksgiving. And so we see a lull in sales. We're just trying to bring some attention. And, the idea as we talk to the consumers out there is, can you go out or do takeout at least maybe one more time than you would normally do that? We just support your local restaurants, support your neighbors, your friends, everybody that works in the industry. And, let's try to help keep the industry chugging along as best we can, as we continue to, fight through the pandemic.
Yeah, so if you're somebody who likes to eat out at restaurants, think about going out to eat one more time. If you're a restaurant who wants to participate, you certainly can still sign up on our website. It's right there on our homepage on ohiorestaurant.org. Feel free to go in, register your restaurant. It's free to participate. And for everyone who's joining in, just go ahead and show us what you're eating, show us the meals. We love to see people's favorite food. Absolutely.
Absolutely. If you post it, tag the ORA on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, whatever you use. Have some fun with that. People really like to talk about their food and what they're eating. And, again, it's fun for the restaurants. Tag the restaurant as well. And, if you're a restaurateur, when you register, you get a whole toolkit, which allows you to download graphics and flyers and materials that you can use on your website, as well as putting up some signs in your restaurant. We're starting to see that now as we get a little closer to that. And starting Friday, Shoshanna, I'll actually be out in the markets meeting with some of our restaurants and stopping in and doing a little PR with them. So I'll be in places like Cleveland all day Friday, Toledo all day Saturday next week, Central Ohio. We'll be down in Cincinnati on Wednesday, Dayton on Thursday, out in Zanesville on Friday, just, trying to get all over the state and just kind of thank people for participating and, bring some attention to their restaurants, and it should be fun.
Sounds like a good time. So, John, we know that cases are rising, COVID cases are rising in Ohio. Is it still really safe to be dining in restaurants right now?
As we look at all the contact tracing data and we talk to our restaurateurs, it really has not been a situation where there's been spread inside the restaurants. Many of our restaurateurs since March have had 0 cases. A few have. And when we dig through that, what happens is people are getting, they're getting COVID in a house party or at a major event or something like that. And when they come to the restaurant, before they even begin to work, the first thing that we're trying to do in all restaurants is to go through a questionnaire with each employee. And some restaurants are doing temperature checking, all the things they can do to make sure that those individuals, if they do have COVID, that they stay away from the restaurant and go into quarantine for the appropriate amount of days. The CDC just came out this week and talked about masking, and not only do they recommend masking, of course, and face coverings, they now say that not only does it protect others if you have one on, that it protects you. So all the more reason for wearing masking and all the things that we've been talking about really since Dine Safe. The Dine Safe order came out, Dine Safe Ohio, and then we issued the Ohio Restaurant Promise. And if you recall, what we said to everybody is make sure when you go into a restaurant that you're seated, that you don't take your mask off until you sit down, 6-foot distancing, which is what restaurants are making sure that's happening, or they have the barriers up. And many people I've been out to visit, they've spent a fair amount of money putting up the plexiglass barriers in between booths and chairs and tables. And I've even seen them at bars. And people, of course, in the restaurant business have spent tremendous amount of money on PPE, to make sure that there's enough sanitizer and all the things that go on with that. And so we really applaud the restaurants for making sure that that it's as safe as it can possibly be for all their employees and their guests. And that's the Ohio Restaurant Promise. And Shoshanna, it's so important that they're doing this because restaurant sales have recovered for some concepts in certain segments, but not all. So we've heard all the stories about pizza guys are doing well and delivery and all that type of thing. And some of our quick serve businesses are doing well. But for a lot of independents and sit downs, sales are still down, over 20%. In fact, we have some sales are down still over 70% versus pre-COVID versus a year ago. And so that's pretty tough sledding for people. Now, the state did announce some good news in the last couple of weeks, and we've already detailed that in all of our communications. But, the dollars through the CARES Act, that were available for bars and restaurants that have liquor license and serve, as well as the small business grants of $10,000. Those were nice lifelines. And then the BWC refunds and dividends, those were another terrific lifeline. But the issue still, the big thing is that the relief bill out of Congress is stuck, right? There's no progress. No one's focused on that right now. And we are going to be pressing Congress very hard with help from the National Restaurant Association this week, and of course going forward, that regardless of what's going on with the presidential election and what's going on with the race in the Senate, it is not fair to not address this. It is their responsibility to get this done, to have a relief bill. And of course, we're pushing for the Paycheck Protection Program round 2 and support specifically for the restaurant industry, which has been hit among all the industries, one of the deepest and hardest. And so we're pushing very hard, and you'll see more from us this week. In fact, get ready for a couple special webinars with us and the National Restaurant Association.
Great. Well, thank you so much, as always, John, for keeping us up to date on what's happening with the ORA and nationally. We really appreciate your leadership. And for everyone who's watching, don't forget, get out there next week, eat out one more time, Dine Safe Across Ohio, support your favorite family restaurant or any restaurant that you like to eat out at.
That's right. Be safe, dine in or take out, whatever you're most comfortable with. So thanks.
Great. Thanks, everybody.